Peace and blessings. Welcome to another episode of Real Life with Real Talk. I'm your girl, Real Talk Tiff.
Yurima Karama.
And I'm Safia.
Tonight's episode, we are talking about Black Lives Matter. Now, I recognize you felt something when I said Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter does not mean all lives do not matter, but it means we as Black recognize that our lives are just as important as yours. True?
True.
Yeah.
So one of the things I've seen, now I won't speak for other people, is the disputes on social media where someone puts Black Lives Matter. Someone else has to respond with all lives matter. Why do people feel like they have to make that a point when we're speaking about Black Lives Matter?
I think it negates what's going on. I think the reason that it gets said all lives matter, just based on what I've seen on social media, it negates that people, there are Black people getting killed.
Yes.
Like it's going out of style. And like it's just, a sport. And Black Lives Matter was formed from that. It's a movement formed from, look, I'm seeing somebody that looks just like me getting treated like nothing.
Right.
But guess what? I do matter. And I think that's where, that Black Lives Matter but all lives matter. Like, let's just forget about it. Let's just, it doesn't matter. Basically,
Yeah.
But it does.
It absolutely does. I don't like that when we're saying Black Lives Matter, then you have those people who come in and say, well, if Black Lives matter so much, why are Blacks killing Blacks?
Well, it's there's so many different facets to this, and I tend to get pretty hyped about this type of subject matter because the fact of the matter is that, environmentally, when we just talk about environments,
right.
The environment where you live, more than likely, that's going to be the environment where any type of crime is committed, those sort of things. So when they talk about, well, why are Blacks killing Blacks? Well, that's because the media, CNN, MSNBC, Fox News is not reporting whites killing whites. They're not reporting Asians killing Asians. They're not reporting Hispanics killing Hispanics. They tend to only focus on Blacks killing Blacks. So they want to portray us in that light. It's always negative. The other issue is that the reason Black Lives Matter in this country, the reason that slogan comes about is because never have our lives mattered. Never have our lives mattered. See, we can sit here and show hundreds of pictures, thousands of pictures with whole white communities standing, smiling while Black bodies are hanging above them.
Right.
That's why Black Lives Matter, because police can go out and kill Black men, women, and now children.
Yes. This is true.
And nothing happens.
So
they get off. Black Lives Matter because Black Lives Matter because O.J. Simpson beat his case in 1996. He beat his case. Black Lives Matter, and the reason I say that is because I saw white women on TV crying. Not because Nicole Brown Simpson was murdered. They were crying because this was a time in history where they felt that a Black man got away with killing a white woman. Unheard of in this country. That's why Black Lives Matter. That's why I get so hyped about this subject because I don't want to hear all lives matter. No, all lives aren't dying at the hands of police and the judicial system and the prison system the way that Black men and women are. So don't give me all lives matter. No, all lives do matter, but include us in that scenario. And if you can't stand up when a Black man or a Black woman is killed and say that was unjust and wrong, you're not part of the solution, you're part of the problem.
So it sounds like what you're saying from your perspective on Black Lives Matter is that this country has been desensitized to the treatment of Blacks, people of color, people with our skin tone. And Black Lives Matter is bringing faces and human stories to the individuals who've become victimized by police brutality and rampant violence, especially in the custody of police. Is that about where you're going with that?
Well, let me clarify. The country has not become desensitized because they were never sensitized in the first place. They've never cared about black lives. We've always been used as labor and economics. That's why the only thing that they care about is our dollar. That's it. Without our dollar, they care nothing about black people, and that's a fact. That's a fact. They use it. Look, this is real life with real talk. We're keeping it real. The only thing that this country cares about, the majority population, is a black man either catching a football, dribbling a basketball, or making money and spending it in their Walmart, their Saks Fifth, and all these other retail establishments. Other than that, they want us for entertainment and money. Take our $1 trillion out of the scenario that we spend on a yearly basis. One of two things. They either come to the negotiating table with us or they immediately re-enslave us. Fact.
Ow.
Fact.
So what do you think Black Lives Matter is supposed to accomplish? What is the end goal?
It's hard to say what the end cause is because, I do see people organizing. But it's like there needs to be more action, more movement. I think that people coming together is powerful, but I don't really hear any individual goals going on. And I think that starts with us more, self.
Right.
We can go to groups and everything, and that's powerful. And we still have to look inside of us and what are we doing to, better ourselves, better our community.
Right.
If we are able to build a whole economic infrastructure, how can that be moved? How can that community be, threatened if we have, all these different things where they build nations in place?
Absolutely. And that's real life or real talk.